A fatal fight breaks out in Brampton, leaving one person dead and two others with serious injuries. Friends and neighbors now identifying the woman killed, telling CP24 she'd give you the shirt off her back.
We're also live at the scene of a daylight shooting inside an apartment building in Scarborough. This is where a man was found with serious injuries. The latest on the search for a suspect coming up.
Plus, after a hazy long weekend and some of the worst air quality in the world, conditions have improved in the GTA, but the smoky conditions persist. What does the rest of the week look like? We'll take a look.
This is Live at 5. Good evening. I'm Bakari Savage.
And I'm Lena Latafat. Thanks so much for joining us and welcome to Live at 5. Police are investigating a shooting inside a Scarborough apartment building that's left one person seriously injured.
CP24's Melissa Duggan joins us live from the scene. This is near Danforth and Midland. Melissa.
Yeah, Bakari and Lena, you would expect this would be a scare for people living inside this apartment building behind me here. This is where someone was shot around 2:45. It happened inside the building. It's not clear what floor this happened on, but we do know when police responded, that is when they found the victim. The victim, a male, was rushed to hospital. His injuries described as serious but not life-threatening. And now the search is on for the suspect in this case. Police alerting the public to a presence of police around here. It has been stepped up as part of this investigation. The person they're looking for as part of this investigation described as male, black, about 5'10", with a slim build, wearing black clothing. Police saying that the suspect fled the scene before officers arrived here. Again, this happening at about 2:45 this afternoon. They're urging anyone who has any information to reach out to police, to reach out to investigators or to Crime Stoppers as they look for the person behind the shooting. Again, the shooting, Bakari and Lena, sending a male victim to hospital this afternoon with serious but non-life-threatening injuries. Back to you.
Okay, CP24's Melissa Duggan, thanks a lot. Well, one person's dead, two others seriously injured. This is after a fight broke out in Brampton.
And tonight, we are learning more about the circumstances and the victim, who friends and family have identified as June, someone they say was wonderful. CP24's Sija Liu joins us live from Center Street and Queen Street with the very latest. Sija.
Lena, Bakari, we have been speaking to a number of neighbors, and they all tell us that they saw the warning signs of violence unfolding here at this home. But it was around 12:30 last night where police were called to this home on Center Street for reports of a fight. When they got here, they found two people who were seriously injured. They are expected to survive. However, they found one person who was dead at the scene. They have arrested a suspect, but that is all police are telling us at this moment. They are quite lipped. But neighbors are telling us more information here. They say this didn't come out of nowhere and that they have been raising the red flags for months. Police were first called to this address last week for reports of animal abuse. And according to court documents, a 65-year-old man called Wilfred Kent was arrested and charged with willfully causing unnecessary pain and suffering to animals. Neighbors say his dog was taken away and they were living in fear of retaliation. You fast forward to early this morning around 12:30 and police are back at the same home for that violent fight. And when officers got here, they found one person dead, two others seriously injured. Police haven't identified the victim, but after speaking to several neighbors, they tell us it was a woman in her 70s named June. She worked at the local laundromat and everyone describes her as a friendly face, someone who would give the shirt off their back. I spoke to a woman who says she was very close with the victim. Here's how she will be remembered. Take a listen.
I will remember many things. Her gigantic laughter, her goodness that she has helped so many people. I can't even tell you. She's just the most loving, gracious person. She never would turn you away, or a lot of homeless people. She would always give them money. She would always help them in other ways. These are the things I'll remember her.
And the woman I spoke to, she didn't want to appear on camera out of fears for her safety. As for the accused, 65-year-old Wilfred Kent, he is now facing a charge of second-degree murder and 2 counts of aggravated assault. He is scheduled to appear back in court on August 12th for a bail hearing. As for the police investigation right now, they still aren't saying much, but there is a mobile command post set up. Detectives Lena Bakari is still going door to door to try to figure out more information. I'll send it back to you.
And we can see that police tape still behind you as this investigation continues. Clearly a very active scene there tonight. Cedra, thanks so much for this. It's now 5:05, 28 degrees. Let's get a check on the evening commute, the drive home with our traffic specialist, Heather Seaman. How are the roads, Heather?
Well, the biggest problem right now is the volume. We have a couple crashes I want to mention. Let's go straight to the camera. Speaking of volume, 427 southbound, that is jamming up from approaching Gorway Drive to Dixon Road. The 401 eastbound, again, lots of volume from about the 410. That continues, alternating express and collectors to Weston Road. In the Whitby area, Port Union, eastbound 401, reports of a collision blocking 2 right lanes. Don't have a visual on it, but you can see traffic really starting to back up through that stretch. The 404 southbound, let's see if I can bring up that camera. Yeah, it seems to be jamming up. Let's go to the Don Valley Parkway. That is jamming up from about north of Danforth to north of Lawrence. Again, typical afternoon volume. And we have reports of I believe it's a stall. Let's see. Actually, it's a collision. Westbound Gardner, just past Parkside Drive. Don't have a visual on it. But again, it's the westbound Gardner beyond Parkside. The left lane is blocked with a crash. Off the major routes, we still have a heavy police presence in the Danforth and Midland area, and that's for a police investigation. That's it. Back to you.
This CP24 traffic report is brought to you by 407 ETR. Enjoy the journey with a stress-free commute.
And police are still searching for 2 suspects after a shooting in the Jane and Driftwood areas and 2 men in hospital.
It happened around 10:30 last night. Police say 2 male suspects drove away in a dark-colored vehicle, one wearing black clothing, the other wearing a red shirt. Police say a 19-year-old man was shot and taken to hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. The second victim, also 19, was taken to hospital with minor injuries.
Well, an attempted murder charge has been laid in a weekend stabbing in Kensington Market. So the stabbing happened early Sunday morning. This is near Bellevue Square Park. A man was taken to hospital in life-threatening condition after being found he had been stabbed multiple times. Now, police say the suspect was arrested in Niagara. This was at the Queenston-Lewiston Bridge. This is with the help of border officers and has since been returned to Toronto. So 38-year-old Murtaza Kaja Sadiavia of Guelph is now facing multiple charges.
Toronto police are trying to identify a suspect who allegedly assaulted someone downtown last month.
Investigators have released this image of the person that they're looking for. They say that the suspect got into an argument in the York and Harbor Street area. This was on July 27th, and then attacked the victim with an object. So the victim was seriously hurt. The suspect is described as a woman with a medium build and blonde hair. She was wearing a crop top, black tights, and light-colored shoes with a backpack. So anyone with information has to call police or Crime Stoppers.
A motorcyclist has been critically injured after a collision in Oshawa.
Durham police say that this happened this morning near Park Road and Marlin Avenue, south of Gibb Street. So one male victim was taken to hospital with life-threatening injuries. Officers say that road closures are going to be in place in the area for several hours. An investigation into the cause, that's underway.
Peel police are asking for help finding a senior who went missing in Mississauga.
76-year-old Sheila was last seen in the Speakman Drive and Sheridan Park Drive area. It was shortly before 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon. She was wearing a red sweater, white pants with black polka dots, a Blue Jays hat, and red socks. Sheila uses a wheelchair. Police say that they are concerned for her well-being. They're asking anyone with information to contact them.
Well, turning to the air quality, a special statement has ended for Toronto today, but smoky conditions, they certainly continue.
Yeah, smoke from forest fires, it has impacted most of southern Ontario for several days. Now, the reduced air quality, it can lead to eye, nose, and throat irritation, headaches, or even a mild cough.
It's because of the heat, not because of anything else.
Okay, so you don't change anything because of the air quality?
No.
Not at all. Not at all. I just love being outdoors. Actually, it's not that bad. I know everyone talks about it, but I think if you're in good shape and you're responsible, you can handle it.
Oh, yeah. You don't go out very long. Yeah. My friend was wearing a mask. I can taste a little bit, but it's not as bad as I thought it would be.
And it's not going to impact you being a non-lazy runner? No? And just for people at home, she said that, and I think I'm motivating you. We're going to do this, right?
Yeah.
Even with the air quality?
Yeah, we should get up and get out.
So the Canadian Interagency Forest Fire Center reports almost 750 wildfires burning across Canada, and that is why we feel these smoky, hazy conditions right here at home.
Right now it's 5:10, 28 degrees. This is Live at 5.
A Burlington teenager making her mark at the National Bank Open in Montreal with her incredible run, now inspiring up-and-comers right here in the GTA. We'll tell you more about Victoria Mboka. Welcome back. 3 men are facing human smuggling-related charges after police found 44 people in a cube van in southern Quebec.
At Mounties and Quebec Provincial Police, they stopped the van early Sunday. This is near Stansted, which is north of the Vermont border. So most of the people in the van were Haitian nationals. The police say that they looked visibly distraught and they were suffering from dehydration. The Canada Border Services Agency says that most of them were transferred to a refugee processing center. The agency didn't say what happened to the rest of them.
Well, the federal government is promising to provide more than $1 billion in support for the softwood lumber industry amid the ongoing trade dispute with the U.S.
Ottawa says it'll make up to $700 million available in loan guarantees for softwood lumber producers. It's also pledging to provide $500 million to help accelerate product development and market diversification. It comes as Washington has placed anti-dumping duties on Canadian softwood lumber. Prime Minister Mark Carney says that the investments are going to help the industry pivot to a growing Canadian market.
We will be our own best customer by relying more on Canadian lumber, Canadian softwood for Canadian projects. Canada's new government has a strong mandate to get big things built faster. That means millions of more homes, major new ports, new trade corridors, new energy projects. And as we build bigger and faster, we will build Canadian, prioritizing Canadian lumber, Canadian steel, Canadian aluminum in Canadian construction.
Carney says Canada does not dump lumber into the U.S. and calls the American duties unjustified.
Well, Canada is looking to boost ties with its other North American trading partner, this as they both seek to work out trade deals with the U.S.
Foreign Affairs Minister Anita Anand and Finance Minister François-Philippe Champagne, they're in Mexico for 2 days of meetings. They're expected to talk about economic growth, trade, and security with Mexico's president. They are also set to meet with business leaders. The trip comes after Washington placed a 35% tariff on goods not covered by the Canada-United States-Mexico agreement. The trade pact, known as CUSMA, is up for review next year. And former Canadian diplomat and NAFTA negotiator Colin Robertson says Anand and Champagne will also likely be looking to use this visit to repair some of the damage that's been done to Canada's relationship with Mexico.
We want to get the relationship going again. It's been on fairly troubled waters, especially with the last Mexican president, Lopez Obrador, AMLO as we've called him, where there's major disagreements on judicial reforms the Mexicans were taking. And also the Mexicans were unhappy with how they saw some of our mining companies behaving. So the relationship was fairly tenuous. So this is actually both a restart of the relationship under the Carney government and then taking stock of what we can do together to preserve that North American framework.
And former Foreign Affairs Minister Peter Mackey spoke on the significance of Canada's relationship with Mexico.
We do about $56 billion annually in trade with Mexico, but that's only about 1% of what Canada sends into their economy. So there are specific sectors, the tech sector, for example, certainly other agriculture products and things right now that we're not currently trading. And so having two senior ministers there to talk is always a good idea. Now, granted, these are not ministers who are directly involved with the ongoing tariff and trade dispute with the United States, but perhaps we can also learn something from their approach. They took a much more measured and perhaps low-key approach, and it seemed to work for them.
This week's trip comes ahead of an anticipated visit to Mexico by Prime Minister Mark Carney at a later date.
Well, Molson Coors is forecasting a drop in its annual profits in part because of tariffs on the aluminum that it uses for beer cans.
Yeah, the company says it expects costs to rise between $20 and $35 million in the second half of the year because of these tariffs, which the Trump administration set at 50% in June. Talk about punishing. It also cited weakened demand in the U.S. for the drop in expected earnings.
It's 5:16, 28 degrees. This is Live at 5.
More news straight ahead. Stay with us.
Okay, well, Burlington's Victoria Mboko is going to be looking to punch her ticket to the final round at the National Bank Open tomorrow.
And for more on her extraordinary run at the tournament and a preview of her semifinal match, let's bring in CP24's Phil Perkins. Some pretty impressive stuff, Phil.
Yeah, very impressive stuff, but not unprecedented. We're going to talk about that with Ken Hale. He is the tournament director with National Bank Open. We can bring him in now, live at 5. Let's talk about this. What is setting Victoria Mboko's run right now that we're seeing at the National Bank Open in Montreal, apart from what we've seen other young Canadian tennis stars do? Eugenie Bouchard made it to the finals at Wimbledon, the semifinals, and a couple other major tournaments. Bianca Andreescu won the U.S. Open. What is it that sets Mboko apart?
Yeah, the best is yet to come for Vicky. She's been on the radar since she was 12 years old, signing with IMG, and she's gone through a process the past few years. We were just waiting for this to happen. Great athlete, really smart player, and tremendous family supporting her. So we think this is just the beginning of her run. And also we think it's very sustainable, and she'll be around for a long, long time for Patriots in Canada.
Absolutely. So it's Carl Hale with the NBO tournament director. And, you know, you're saying she's intelligent. What is it about it that does the game almost slow down for her? Have you had a chance to talk to her and kind of figure out what makes her so special?
Yeah, I mean, I'll give you a story. Jimmy Arias, a former top 5 player, he ran the IMG Academy. He visited there for a while, and they do a drill called the 100-ball rally where he says, I'll give you $5 if you do 100 balls in a row. And the last 10, he tries to hit a winner and slices and makes it really difficult. And she got through it. And at the end of it, he said, where's my $5? When she was 12 years old, she did that. And he said, she's a different type of athlete. She has the eye of the tiger. And I think she's going to make a deep run, if not win our championship here in Montreal. And as I said earlier, the best is yet to come because she is a tremendous athlete and a gift to us at Tennis in Canada.
And, you know, she's up against Elena Rybakina from Kazakhstan, a bit of a rematch from last week at a different tournament. And I said in the last half hour, you know, time changes a lot of things, especially momentum seems to be a real thing. How do you predict the semifinal is going to go?
Yeah, last week, Leylah Fernandez beat Rybakina in Washington in 3 tiebreaker sets. Rybakina is a Wimbledon champion, formidable opponent. It's a really tough match for Vicky. But she has Canada behind her in Montreal, and I think you'll see great results. And even here in Toronto tonight, we have amazing matchups with our number 2 seed, Taylor Fritz, playing Rublev, and also Ben Shelton playing the second match tonight.
Oh, it was great. We were at the National Bank Open yesterday watching the pair quarterfinals matches on the men's side. And I will say it was pretty cool that the announcer, when there was a break and play, mentioned Mboka was leading in the second set. Everyone erupted. So I got to ask you, well, I 100% know the Toronto event is awesome. I was there yesterday, as I mentioned. Are you getting increased calls from people saying, you know, I need to get a ticket right now to Montreal?
Absolutely. Everybody's excited about the event in Montreal. Of course, we're patriotic. We'd love to see our Canadians go far, as Milos got to the final, and, you know, here in Toronto in 2019, Bianca won it. So hopefully we can replicate that with a female champion in Montreal this year.
All right, Carl Hale, National Bank Open Tournament Director. Thanks so much. We do appreciate it. I'm going to hold you to it. You think she's going to be number 1 ranked in WTA at some point?
I think she'll be top 15, so we're going to talk next year. This time next year, she'll be top 15, give or take a few spots, and the year after that, she'll be number 1. I think she has the opportunity to win a Grand Slam in between now and then.
Wow. All right. Carl Hale, again, hype man and also National Bank Open Tournament Director. We do appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Yeah, so that semifinal is tomorrow. Lena, Bakari, I think a lot of people are finally going to start catching on. When I was at the National Bank Open on the men's side yesterday, people were watching it, no doubt, on the men's quarterfinals, but they're also second screening it on their phone or just making sure they're checking in on those scores. Back to you.
Hey, well, Phil, I'm counting on you to get us into Montreal, okay?
I mean, we need to book some flights. You know, we haven't had an opportunity to travel to any championship level anything with the Leafs, with the Raptors. Jays 2BC. We got to cheer on some kind of Canadian content right now. So I mean, we also have CTV Montreal. Maybe they'll figure it out.
All right, Phil Perkins reporting live from our newsroom. Thanks so much for this, Phil. No problem. Well, the rise of Mboko is impacting the next generation.
Yeah, this Nike tennis camp coaches, they're using her success and lessons from the court to inspire young players as they learn the game. We had a chance to talk to a couple of campers today.
It makes me feel pride for someone who came near this area actually got to a really high level at this young age, and it kind of motivates me.
I think that's amazing, and it inspires my dad too, because my dad also plays a lot of tennis, but he likes baseball more.
And there's a lot of discipline and hard work behind these headlines. Mboko first picked up a tennis racket at the age of 4 after watching her siblings play. By age 15, she won her first pro title, the Saskatoon Challenger. An incredible story.
Right now it's 5:24, 28 degrees. This is Live at 5.
Well, the Blue Jays are looking to keep their momentum going after a blowout win against the Rockies. We're going to tee up tonight's game next. Welcome back. The Blue Jays, they'll be looking for a second win in Colorado tonight after they crushed the Rockies yesterday.
Varsho drives it. Right field and deep. Turning at the wall. Freeman. See you later.
Okay, so look at that. Dalton Varsho, who just returned from injury last week, broke the game open with this 3-run homer in the third inning. Bo Bichette homered twice and drove in 6 runs. Ernie Clement had 5 of Toronto's season-high 25 hits in the game. Now, the Jays finished this win with 15-1. Jose Barrio starts tonight. First pitch is set for just after 8:30.
It's 5:28, 28 degrees. You've been watching Live at 5 on Toronto's Breaking News, CP24.
And we're live in Scarborough tonight. This is where police are investigating an afternoon shooting. One person's in hospital. The very latest coming up. A fatal fight breaks out in Brampton, leaving one person dead, 2 others serious injuries. We're live at the scene tonight. This is where friends and neighbors, they're now identifying the woman killed.
We are also live at the scene of a daylight shooting inside an apartment building in Scarborough. This is where a man was found with serious injuries, the latest on the search for a suspect. Coming up in moments.
And Burlington teen Victoria Mboko's sensational run at the National Bank Open, it continues, advancing to the semifinals in Montreal. So coming up tonight, how the 18-year-old success is inspiring a generation of athletes.
You're watching Live at 5. Good evening, and thanks so much for joining us. I'm Lena Latifat.
I'm Bakari Savage. One person's dead, 2 others seriously injured. This is after a fight broke out in Brampton.
Yeah, and tonight we are learning more about the circumstances and the victim, who friends and family have identified as June, someone they say was wonderful. CP24's Sija Liu joins us live from the scene tonight with the very latest. What more can you tell us about the victim, Sija?
Well, Lena Bakari, she was a woman in her 70s who neighbors describe as a very friendly woman who worked at the local laundromat for nearly 20 years. A friendly face they would look forward to seeing every single time they would wash their clothes. But this is all information we're getting from neighbors who are painting a picture for us of what may have happened. As for what police have told us, they were called to this home on Center Street around 12:30 last night for reports of a fight. When they got here, they found one person dead and 2 other people seriously hurt. Fortunately, those 2 people are expected to be okay. One person has been arrested, but police aren't giving any other information besides that, especially when it comes to motive. However, if you talk to the neighbors here, they'll tell you that this didn't come out of nowhere. They'll tell you that they were raising the red flags of violence waiting to happen. According to court documents we got today, the man now charged with second-degree murder and 2 counts of aggravated assault is 65-year-old Wilfred Kent. The court documents say he was actually arrested just last week for animal abuse. And neighbors say that's how it started, that it started with reports of animal abuse, that police were called to this home after they saw him abusing a dog. And now neighbors are saying they feared retaliation. And now, just less than a week later, police are back at that same home where they were called here around 12:30 last night, which ended with 1 person dead and 2 others seriously injured. As for the victim, police haven't given us an identity, but neighbors tell us it is a woman in her 70s who goes by the name of June. They say she is a very friendly woman who worked at the local laundromat for about 17 years and someone who certainly didn't deserve any of this happening to her. Take a listen to how neighbors are reacting.
But it's a shame because she works over there at the laundromat. She's a wonderful, wonderful lady. So
nicest lady there is. Nicest lady. She'd shoot off her back or give you anything. She'd give you anything.
She was a really nice lady. Very nice. She kept to herself. Like, I didn't even know she lived across the road. You know, she was very, very quiet. And she worked over here at the laundromat too, right? So that's where I talked to her all the time. When I went over to my laundry, she was there also. She was very nice lady. And yeah, it's pretty sad. It's sad what happened to her. She didn't deserve it at all.
As for next steps, the accused is scheduled to be back in court on August 12th. And police, they are still in the area investigating, although we haven't received an update on any new details with the investigation. They do have a mobile command post set up in the parking lot nearby. Detectives are still going house to house, asking for witnesses to come forward and looking for any video. Lena Bakari, I'll send it back to you for now.
All right, Sija Liu reporting live from Brampton. Thanks so much, Sija. To Scarborough now, where police are investigating a brazen daylight shooting inside an apartment building that's left 1 person with serious injuries.
CP24's Melissa Duggan joins us live from the scene. This is near Danforth and Midland. Melissa.
Yeah, Bakari and Lena, the investigation very much underway here. The Forensic Identification Service is just pulling up to this building behind me here. There are a number of police cars parked outside. Toronto police telling us that people in this area should expect a large police presence during this investigation. What we're hearing from police is that they were called to this building just after 2:45 this afternoon for a shooting that happened inside the building. It's not clear which floor this may have happened at, but it was inside this building. They found a victim, a male who was rushed to hospital. His injuries being described as serious but non-life-threatening. Now police are searching for a suspect in this shooting. Again, it happened in the Midland and Danforth area, specifically Gordon Ridge Place is where this building is off of here. They're looking for a male who's described as black, about 5'10", with a slim build, wearing black clothing. The investigation is well underway at this point. They're asking anyone who has any information to reach out to police, share anything with them or with Crime Stoppers as well. Again, it was a male victim rushed to hospital. His injuries described as serious and non-life-threatening. And again, it was just Tuesday afternoon, middle of the day, when this happened inside the building. So certainly an alarming circumstance for anyone who happens to live in this building to have heard at least 1 shot being fired inside this unit. Again, sending a male victim to hospital this afternoon. Back to you.
Okay, CP24's Melissa Duggan. Thank you. It's 5:36, 28 degrees. Let's get a check on the evening commute with CP24's traffic specialist, Heather Seaman. Heather.
Hi there. Well, quite a busy drive this evening. Let's go straight to the cameras. We have a crash on the go. It's a multi-vehicle crash. Eastbound 401 collectors at Port Union. It's blocking 3 right lanes in the right shoulder. You can see emergency crews on scene, tow trucks there as well. Delays from approaching Kingston Road. If you can get into the express lanes, you might want to do that before you get to Port Union. Quite the backup through that stretch. 404 southbound through busy from Steeles. I should mention southbound from Steeles to south of the 401. Again, we're just dealing with volume at this point. Don Valley Parkway northbound, that is heavy from about north of Danforth to north of Lawrence. Again, typical for your afternoon drive. And the Gardner, not sure why they zoomed in the camera. Not aware of any issues. Could be this stalled vehicle there. This is near Parkside Drive. And westbound Gardner from about York Street to west of Bathurst, that is jamming up as well. Off the major routes, all eastbound and westbound lanes of Danforth have reopened following an investigation from Woodbine to Woodmount, and a heavy police presence at Danforth and Midland for a shooting investigation. That's it. Back to you.
All right, Heather, thanks so much. Well, police are still searching for two suspects after a shooting in the Jane and Driftwood area sent two men to hospital.
So this happened around 10:30 last night. Police say that two male suspects, they drove away in a dark-colored vehicle, one wearing black clothing, the other wearing a red shirt. And police say that a 19-year-old man was shot and was taken to hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. The second victim, also 19, was taken to hospital with minor injuries.
And an attempted murder charge has been laid in a weekend stabbing in Kensington Market. That stabbing happened early Sunday morning near Bellevue Square Park. A man taken to hospital in life-threatening condition after being found with multiple stab wounds. Police say the suspect was arrested in Niagara at the Queenston-Lewiston Bridge with the help of border officers and has since been returned to Toronto. 38-year-old Murtaza Khaja Sadiava of Guelph is now facing a number of charges.
Well, a 72-year-old man has been arrested after a stabbing on the TTC streetcar yesterday.
It's alleged the suspect stabbed a 31-year-old woman on board a streetcar going southbound on Broadview yesterday afternoon. That woman exited the streetcar and was later located with serious non-life-threatening injuries. Gulu Jiwani has been arrested and is facing 2 assault charges. The victim's also been arrested after police believe she was wanted for 2 previous assaults on 2 victims at Broadview Station yesterday. Both victims suffered non-life-threatening injuries.
Well, a motorcyclist has been critically injured after a collision in Oshawa.
Durham police say it happened this morning near Park Road and Marland Avenue, south of Gibbs Street. One male victim was taken to hospital with life-threatening injuries. Officers say road closures will be in place for a number of hours. An investigation into the cause of that crash is still underway.
Well, emergency crews were called to a home near Weston Road and Lawrence Avenue. That was early this morning for a fire. This spread to 2 homes.
Yeah, this was the scene on Coulter Avenue just after 3 a.m. The fire in the semi-detached home spread to the attic of one of the homes. Luckily, no injuries were reported, and crews are still keeping a close eye out for hot spots.
And a special air quality statement. It's ended for Toronto today, but there are still smoky conditions around.
Yeah, you can sort of feel it. Smoke from forest fires has impacted most of southern Ontario for a number of days. That reduced air quality can lead to eye, nose, and throat irritation, as well as headaches or even a mild cough.
I can taste a little bit, but it's not as bad as I thought it would be.
It's very heavy, you know, that me say here, but Monique is acceptable.
We did feel a bit yesterday, but today we've got used to it. Now we are continuing with our daily routine.
Okay, so Dr. Alan Grill is the chief of family medicine at Markham Silva Hospital, and he talked to us about how bad the air quality needs to get for people to consider spending less time outside.
I usually tell my patients, if the number is greater than 6, you might want to spend more time indoors, especially if you're in one of those high-risk groups. If the number is between 4 and 6, maybe just limit the amount of time you're going to spend outdoors, especially strenuous activity. If it's lower than 4, most people can go outside and they might notice the haze, but they probably won't get any symptoms. So it's a combination of, are you at high risk, and what's the actual index saying, and then you can modify your behavior so that you don't get these symptoms and it doesn't impact your health.
And this time yesterday, we had some of the worst air quality in the world. We came in second place at some point. The Canadian Interagency Forest Fire Center reports almost 750 wildfires burning across Canada. And that right there is the culprit.
It's 5:41, 28 degrees. This is Live at 5.
Well, coming up, an update to a story that gripped a school community just before summer break. Tonight, we are learning the long-standing principal at Rosedale Heights School of the Arts will be back in September. The details are coming up.
Burlington's Victoria Mboka is going to be looking to punch her ticket to the final round at the National Bank Open tomorrow.
Yeah, and for more on her extraordinary run at the tournament and a preview of her semifinal match, let's bring in CP24's Phil Perkins. And you've been speaking with insiders from the tennis world about what makes this 18-year-old stand out.
Yeah, we just spoke to Carl Hale, the National Bank Open tournament director, and he says that not only is she physically a great tennis player, but her mental game, he says that she has the eye of the tiger. She's a killer. She could be out there and get you with a smile on her face. And she has been blazing a path at the National Bank Open in Montreal. Not only is she into the semifinal, but you cannot forget the fact that in the fourth round, she beat second overall ranked Coco Gauff out of the U.S. She has won 2 majors already. She beat her in just over an hour's time, and then she defeated 51st ranked out of Spain, Jessica Buzas-Monero last night, also in straight sets. The first set was a little back and forth. The second was no contest for the Burlington native out of Charlotte, North Carolina. That's where she was born, but she resides in Burlington, and it has been a massive, massive moment in her career. She is the youngest Canadian to reach a semifinal at the National Bank Open in the Open era. This is her first WTA ranked event in the semifinals, so a 1,000-level event, the first time she's reached a semifinal. So her future is just exceptionally bright, hearing from tennis experts. So here is Noelle Van Loten, the head of Canada's women's tennis, and Lucas Weiss from The Athletic.
She's just in a good mental state, and she has progressed enormously this year physically, also in her way of playing tennis, being more aggressive, more variety. Yeah, it's amazing to see her perform that way, that it would go that fast. We wouldn't think that, but that she's able to do this, yes.
A year ago, Mboka was ranked outside the top 300. Yes, top 300 in the WTA rankings, and now she's cracked the top 50 by advancing to the semifinals at the National Bank Open, her home tournament. Just a remarkable result and dream run, really, for the 18-year-old, a real star on the rise in Canadian tennis.
All right, before she gets to the final, she has to go to the semifinal up against Kazakhstan's Elena Rybakina, who beat her last week at the DC Open, and Leylah Fernandez also in 3 sets last week as well. So double revenge for Canada against the player out of Kazakhstan. Back to you.
Okay, incredibly exciting. CP24's Phil Perkins joining us live from the newsroom. Thanks, Phil.
Thanks
so much. A longtime principal at Rosedale Heights School of the Arts is going to stay at the school. This is after he was set to be transferred for the upcoming school year.
Yeah, a little bit of background for you. The TDSB says the supervisor at the Ministry of Education chose to keep Barry Sketchley as the principal at RHSA until he retires next year. Students held a protest against his transfer when it was announced in June. Sketchley's been Rosedale Heights' principal for more than 30 years now. And for more on this decision, we're joined live tonight by Tasha Carradine, Vice Chair of the Rosedale Heights School of the Arts. Tasha, thanks so much for joining us. Look, anybody who's been following the story knows that there was a lot of advocacy and support that went into this. Students walked out of school in solidarity with their principals. They launched a petition. The parents got involved as well. Can you tell us more about this reversal, this decision?
Well, we were extremely pleased to see this today. The School Advisory Council had been advocating, and everyone you mentioned had been advocating for Principal Sketchley to stay at the school until he retired, and not just for him and for his dignity, but for the students too, who, like he said, turned out with massive support. They protested not just once, they protested multiple times, saying that they wanted him to stay. And so we feel this is a real win-win, because Principal Sketchley gets to stay for another year until he retires. We're going to be receiving a centrally assigned principal, Joe Gasibi, into the school as a transitions principal for the following year. So after Mr. Sketchley goes, he will be immersed in the culture of the school. He will understand what we're all about. And that makes it a real real win for everyone because our school's unique. We've had the same principal for 33 years. He's really put his stamp on the school, and we have an amazing culture of excellence and inclusion, and we want to keep that. So we're really thrilled that he will be with us for another year, and then we're going to have leadership that understands and can be well received too and set up for success.
Okay, Tasha, along with that, can you talk about the impact of an educator with respect to Principal Sketchley?
Yeah, Principal Sketchley has been there since the beginning. He actually started the school. The school was, before that, was a technical vocational school. It got a new name. It got a new principal. He came in and he started an art school. He said, let's start an art school. And our school was unique because there are many art schools in the TDSB, other schools that have different cultures. We have a culture where, in fact, all the kids who wanted to come in, who had an interest and a passion, could show evidence of that interest. They didn't have to be experts. They didn't have to be, masters of a single discipline or even have had lessons. They had to show that they had a passion. And Mr. Sketchley would literally interview and review every single application of kids who came in. He built the school with the idea that everyone should have a chance to follow their passion and be exposed to many different types of arts. And that's often what happens. We have many parents who've said that he changed their kids' life because they came in as perhaps a visual artist and then they were exposed to dance and they decided to do that instead. And so the sense of the school has always been to really provide a place and a safe place too for kids who might have been bullied in other schools, as artistic kids often are. And he really was the architect of that. So that's why the kids love him so much.
Anybody who's been to school knows just what it means to have an educator who cares, who's passionate. And Principal Sketchley, many may not know, is Ontario's longest-serving principal. As you highlighted, he's fought long and hard for critical arts funding. What's his reaction been like? And have you talked to the students at the school as well?
I haven't had a chance to reach him. I have texted him. I did right away. I have not heard back. I think he's on holiday, but I've had so many emails and texts from parents who've been reacting positively, who've said, our kids are thrilled. This is great. Congratulations. But we really say that, congratulations to all of them, because it's really the efforts of the kids, the protests they put out, the advocacy they did, the passion they showed for Mr. Sketchley. I mean, just to give you another example, at the school, they have merchandise that they sell, to raise money for the school with his face on it. Tote bags with Mr. Sketchley. And he's not just a principal. He's really someone they look up to and that they love. So yes, the outpouring it's coming in as we speak on social media too. People are really happy.
Okay, Tasha Carradine, Vice Chair at the Rosedale Heights School of the Arts. Thanks a lot, and congratulations on the win.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thanks so much. What a great story. It's 5:51 now, 28 degrees. You're watching Live at 5.
More news straight ahead. Stay with us.
We have breaking news. More than 10,000 unionized Air Canada flight attendants, they have voted in favor of a strike.
Yeah, this comes after contract talks between the airline and the Canadian Union of Public Employees ended without a deal. According to the union, 99.7% of members voted in favor of strike action if no collective agreement is reached. The union said that a strike could happen as early as August 16th, and bargaining is expected to resume at the end of this week.
Well, the U.S. Coast Guard is out with its report into what led to the Titan submersible disaster off the coast of Newfoundland back in 2023.
The Marine Board of Investigation determined that the inadequate design of the sub, which was made of carbon fiber, was a primary contributing factor to the deadly implosion. It also determined negligence by OceanGate CEO Stockton Rush played a role. Now, it says that Rush ignored inspection and maintenance procedures and may have been subject to criminal liability if he was still alive. So Rush was among 5 people killed in the implosion during an expedition to view the Titanic's wreckage.
It's 5:55 now, 28 degrees, feeling more like 32 out there, and you're watching Live at 5.
Well, the reimagining of a cult classic is going to be making its way to the Toronto International Film Festival. More on the latest additions to TIFF's lineup. That's next.
Welcome back. Almost that time of year, the Toronto International Film Festival has revealed its lineup of international films, including a Canadian remake of the hockey classic Youngblood.
The reimagined drama that was partially filmed in Barrie is among the 55 titles in TIFF's Centerpiece program. So the 2025 version of Youngblood, it revisits the 1986 cult classic that starred Rob Lowe, Patrick Swayze, and a young Keanu Reeves, this time following an African-American hockey prodigy played by Ashton James. So Oscar-nominated Canadian filmmaker Hubert Davis is the director, and TIFF runs from September 4th to the 14th.
All right, it is 5:59, 28 degrees. This is Toronto's breaking news, CP24.
Thanks for watching. CTV News at 6 is next.